I focused on the paperwork and ignored my mother as she paced back and forth in front of me. "I just want you to find a good man," she was saying. Alina Preston had expressed some variation of this sentence every day to me for the past 5 years, like my life had ended the moment I hit 25. Now I was almost 30, and according to my mother, I had one foot in the grave, romantically speaking. Mom. The one word came out more sharply than I'd intended, and I reined in my impatience as I pulled another list of reports closer to read through. "Can't you see I'm a little busy working?" Mom made a tsh noise of dismissal. "I'd already given birth to both your brothers by the time I was your age." "It's the 21st century, Mom," I pointed out, not for the first time. "Pretty sure I'm okay if I haven't had a baby yet. And Papa needs these reports turned in, so can you let me finish reviewing them without you belaboring my lack of a spouse?" My brothers are both busy handling other aspects of the family business, so I dealt with things like expense reports, spreadsheets, and profit and loss statements. Working for my father wasn't ideal, but it was a way to put my accounting degree to work while I figured out how to have my own life free of the mafia. Papa wasn't happy about my desire to leave what he believed was family traditions, but I'd grown up seeing the violence and the high price we all paid by being a part of the mob. Even though it was the only life I'd known, I didn't want any of that for myself, my marriage, or the children I might have one day. And while I'd never tell my mom this because she'd just go on a rant about how spoiled I was, I didn't want just some random mafioso to be my husband so I'd end up under his thumb, my every move monitored and controlled. I wanted a man I fell in love with who actually worshipped me, who thought I was amazing and smart, who would be sweet and caring, even if it was only for me in private. But I also wanted a man who was confident and strong, a man who would treat me with respect despite my own mind and independence, a man who was, well, man enough to handle me, in the bedroom and out of it without breaking my spirit. Where the hell was I going to find a guy like that? Certainly not in our inner circle where all the men seemed to be dominant, arrogant, and sometimes abusive assholes when it came to their wives. I refused to be any man's possession, ever. My older brothers, Alexander and Dmitri, hadn't helped matters by scaring all the decent men away. God forbid a man so much as glance in my direction. If they did, they'd be all over that poor, unfortunate sucker's ass. My grandparents might have changed our last name when they'd come over on the boat from Popov to Preston, but we were Russian through and through. My brothers especially, with their tempers and macho attitudes, drove me up the damn wall. "We just want you to be with a man who's not afraid of us," Dmitri would say. "If he's scared of us, he's got no balls. He won't keep you safe. He's not the man for you." Yeah. But if the guy did have the balls to stand up to my brothers, they'd consider him a threat. Enter Papa with his itchy trigger finger. There was no way to win in that fight. If you asked me, that was a big part of the reason we hadn't climbed further up the ranks in the mafia underworld. We were still just a middling family, not one of the big players like the Russos. But for fucking did Papa ever listen to me when I tried to... Shaking those thoughts from my head, I took a deep breath and ignored my mother as she continued to pace and rant. Papa would make his own decisions about how to run the family, and it didn't matter what I thought, because I wasn't going to be a part of this world much longer. I was going to get out, and I was going to have my own life separate from the family business, the mafia, and... The door to the office was abruptly thrown wide open as Samuel, one of our trusted soldiers, staggered in. He looked alarmingly pale. There was only one reason he'd barge in without knocking, and it wasn't to make a social call. "Ma'am, Miss Martha." His eyes were wild, his broad chest rising and falling rapidly. "You need to come quickly." "What has happened?" Mom asked. I stood immediately, the reports on my desk already forgotten as my stomach churned with dread. "Is it my father?" Samuel shook his head. "No, Miss Marla. It's your brother, and we don't have time to waste.